For the 2019 season, Six Flags America converted their stand-up B&M roller coaster into a floorless coaster. That means they retrofitted the station, gave it all new trains, so now riders are experiencing the ride seated instead of standing. And that's really because stand-up coasters in general have been slowly disappearing over the past few years. A lot of people are finding them to be uncomfortable, not as fun as a traditional sit-down coaster, and so this is actually the third B&M roller coaster to receive this conversion, after Rougarou, formerly Mantis at Cedar Point, and Patriot, formerly Vortex at California's Great America. But this is the first one at a Six Flags park. Something interesting about Apocalypse was it was actually the first ever B&M roller coaster. It used to be called Iron Wolf at Six Flags Great America before they shipped it to Six Flags America for the 2012 season. Now, I have already done an Apocalypse review, so for the purpose of this review, I'm mainly going to discuss the conversion and how it affects the ride experience so that you can know if this ride is now better because of it and if it is something that is worth your time to go out and ride. Because, as you can expect, the layout itself did not change at all. The only other differences to this ride besides the trains is the colors, the theme, and the name. The colors look great. It's mainly orange track with the rails being a shade of red, and then the supports a dark gray. The theme, by far, in my opinion, is what took the greatest hit, because Apocalypse was actually the best themed ride at Six Flags America. It had all this destructive theming around. There was a crashed plane in the side of some rockwork next to the coaster. There was fire and just destruction all around, and it looked fantastic. And Six Flags didn't have to worry about upkeeping it, because when the ride is literally themed to an apocalypse, you just let it sit there and rot, and it gets better over time. But leave it to Six Flags America to remove the good theming. So now what theming is there? Pretty much nothing. The only thing they did keep is they did keep the fire effect, which I would certainly hope that they would do that, because when the ride is named Firebird, it would make sense that there would be fire. So yes, the fire from Apocalypse is still there. But one thing that's kind of interesting about this conversion is that when it was Apocalypse, it actually had 7 rows, and now it only has 6. So the back row on Firebird is actually not going to be as intense as it was as Apocalypse. In fact, I would say in general, the coaster is not as intense as it used to be. And I think the main reason for that is because this ride was not designed as a floorless coaster. It was designed as a stand-up. But one of the other unfortunate things that has happened because it was the first ever B&M coaster is the coaster has not aged well. During the last few years as it was Apocalypse, the thing was shaky, it was rough, it was not enjoyable. And so I was really hoping that when they put floorless trains on it, that would change it. Unfortunately, though, it did not. The coaster is still shaky. So I think what that tells you is that it really is because of the track, not really the trains. Switching out the trains didn't really change that. So did I enjoy Firebird? I mean, not really. I don't think that this is that great of a ride. It wasn't that great as Apocalypse, and I don't even think it's that great as a sit-down coaster. Is the ride better as a sit-down coaster? I would say yes. The theming is definitely not better, but it's nice to see the coaster at least get updated. I think it is a bit more of a comfortable experience, so maybe now more people will want to experience it. But I don't think that changes the fact that this isn't exactly that great of a ride. Granted, I'm sure at the time when it opened as Iron Wolf, it was revolutionary. I'm sure it was well enjoyed, but I don't think the coaster has aged very well. I was really hoping that adding the new trains, it would make it smoother, maybe a bit more of an intense experience. Instead, the coaster isn't as intense. It's still a headbanger. Now, I mean, as with most roller coasters, if you kind of just keep your head forward, you won't really get as much headbanging as you would otherwise. But that doesn't really change the fact that I feel like there's something wrong with like the track alignment or just certain small issues here and there that you're going to notice. I'd say more so in the second half of the ride than the first half. But I guess that's just what happens when you try and do an improvement to a coaster that was built decades ago. So for Firebird's final score, I'm going to give it a 4. With Apocalypse, I probably would have given it 3 using the score system I use now. So as Firebird, I would say it went up like 1 point. It is more comfortable as a floorless coaster than a stand-up coaster, but I still don't think that this is really a good ride. I've never really been a big fan of it. So is it worth your time to go to Six Flags America to check out this floorless conversion of their stand-up coaster? Not really. If you live close by, I mean, yeah, go see for yourself that, yeah, it is an improved ride experience. But if you're traveling just to do this, I don't think it's worth it. If you've never been to the park, then sure, yeah, because then you're going to get to ride all of the other roller coasters there for the first time as well. But I don't think it's worth making a trip up to Six Flags America just to do this. But hey, that's just my take on Firebird at Six Flags America. Let me know down in the comments below if you've gotten a chance to experience this conversion, what you thought of it. And of course, stay tuned for more coaster reviews here at Coaster Studios, and I'll catch you guys next time.